what skills should student develop during college to prepare for leadership roles?
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you, Ajay sir, and everybody from the esteemed institution of yours to give me a wonderful opportunity to have interaction with everybody. Thanks a lot. And I believe, the first question that's been placed to me, I hope I'm audible, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. So
Yes,
I
yes, you
believe the
are.
first question that's been put across, thank you. The first question that has been put across is how to develop leadership skills within students so that they can, eventually take on higher roles, greater roles down the line within their jobs. Am I correct, Asta?
Yes.
Did I get the question? All right, wonderful. Okay, so I see when it comes to leadership skills, you're going to be understanding that what I've faced in my career and back in 22 years back, I was in I was graduating, I was first year in college, and since then, during my first job, I started working very early. And what I realized, I didn't have any mentor. So it became really difficult for me. I did not know which path to go, what path to follow. And I kept on failing, failing, failing. So I believe embracing failures as a leader is one of the core skills. If a leader has not spent a lot of time experimenting, uh, and out of those experiments, there would be regrets, there would be disappointments. But I'm sure, I always call myself a product of failures. So I think a leader has to fail. A leader has to fail at the initial stages of life. A leader has to develop a team which can openly accept disappointments and failures, and then willing to go ahead and recharge and research and refresh itself towards exploring new things. And I think if a leader is able to do that, he would have a fine team, he would have right leadership traits altogether to run it democratically and to ensure each and everybody learns from those experiences. See, a leader is a leader who can replicate himself, right? And a leader can be only able to replicate when he gives space for people to try and build those consistent efforts. So I think fear of failure has to be out. A leader, a major responsibility, major trait of a leadership is fear of failure should be out. And second is giving consistency, consistent efforts. If these two traits are there, I think all these students would do great. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, sir. And my next question is, how can students start building leadership quality while in college?
I think in college, it's a very dynamic environment. Morning you wake up, you start talking, you start going around in groups. I would say my observation of life have been that uh, when I was in fourth standard, and we all have grown, and some of you students would have kind of grown in a school where you cleared your entire K-12 structure within the same groups. So I was fortunate enough that probably I did that till 10th or my matric, I was in a similar school. So from fourth standard, I started, with a particular bunch. So mine was not the scholastic bunch, but mine was like just one down, right? So we were socializers in trade, right? Uh, and since then, I've seen in my entire school life, those students who were rankers, they remain in rankers group throughout their K-12 structure. Those students who were one step lower than rankers, they were like 70-80% sort of guys, they remain in that bracket. And those students who remain at 40-50% or that particular start of life, they remain there. And probably one group below that was also there who was struggling to clear the exams. And all my K-12, I kept on observing that none of us actually came out of our shells. None of us got developed. We remained with our patterns of life, with our structures of life in our entire K-12 structure. Now, understanding K-12 is an environment which is, uh, uh, a little strong institutional traits are there. There are obviously, restrictions around. You can't dress up like a college folk and say and walk into college, isn't it? And plus, professors and lecturers are not as pragmatic as compared to, or the horizon of life till K-12 is not as such because of our ages as well. But what I believe in college is the time where you're graduate, be it you're graduating, you're doing your MBA, post graduations, PGDBAs, and all. You are at an environment where now you can actually come out of those shells. So you don't have to be kind of being tagged now. And I think this is the time if you really want to develop your leadership traits, if you want to develop traits to be able to face the environment out there, being self-reliant and dependent. And not only that, contributing towards society, contributing towards people's life. The only way now is to come out of those brackets of rankers, those brackets of people who have not been doing great, those mediocre bunches, and now go and interact, mingle with people from all brackets, and that is how pick up projects, speak to people, go to other institution and classes, interact with people. Let's say BCom guy would interact to a BSc guy, sort of a thing, and it should happen, you know. And this is a message not for the guys who are not rankers. This is the message for rankers, because the worst part is that people who've been really good, their focus is there always. The problem with them is that they don't come out of that particular arena. So they also have to step down and start speaking to people, who are across various stages within the academia. And that is what is extremely important. This whole cohesive effort and learning from each other can only happen in the institution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's really informative for us. So my next question is, how important is networking for students? Hello?
Yeah, I think this takes us to the same point. Networking, inter and intra are two ways. Inter, I've just spoken about, right? And to develop leadership skills is extremely important to start interacting with everybody. Uh, then intra interactions, networking opportunities are extremely important. Majority of the times, students shy away. They shy away from reaching out with people like us. They consider probably somebody who's a CHRO, CLO, CEO, CFO, CIO, CTO, for that matter, non-reachable stuff, right? Because we have big tag names, big brands behind our back, we have big designations and all of that. But to be honest, we were just, kids next door a couple of decades back, right? And we would certainly get in, somebody approaches us, we would certainly welcome. There's no need to be overly professional. And you just can, LinkedIn's out open, Facebook's open. You just go and just say a simple hi, and share your problem, because we guys have kind of lived, a guy like me, or probably people like me who have even greater experience and exposure. We've lived, like, I've worked in all 7 continents. I've worked in majority of the sectors, and probably handling a team size of 5,000, 4,000, 2,000 to probably, 50, 55,000. And we've dealt with people from South, people from Orissa, people from Bengal, people from all walks of life, Punjab, Haryana, UP, you name it, we have dealt with it. So, and abroad, UK, Europe, US, Southeast Asia, Manila, Dubai, wherever, right? So what I'm trying to communicate is that we have that exposure. So what we'll do is you come up with your queries with us. People are more welcoming in the fraternity, and just say hi and share, whatever's running in your mind at that moment. So I think networking is extremely important, because that's where you're going to be learning, right? So what we will guide you on with, because we know now what is the next trend, what's going to happen. And we ourselves are transforming. Probably my last 1 month, 1.5 months have been gone in doing Google AI certifications. I'm doing master classes every weekdays, upgrading myself into the next revolution. So imagine if you interact with people who have seen the world where there were no mobile phones and we were still training, managing people, filling out forms and everything. And from that stage, sitting on PowerPoints, having laptops now in front of us, having smartphones, and from this era now we're moving on to the artificial intelligence era. So we have seen those, curves. We may be able to guide you, that's it, and make you, somewhere be a part of your successful journey. So yes, networking is extremely important. But do a bit of homework, and don't feel that you're asking any incorrect or wrong question to anybody, like people from HR or operations for that matter, or in any of the companies. You just simply say hi and just ask your question. Hey, Gaurav, there's a question. That's it. And you'll see people welcoming and will reply. Thank you.